Girlfriend, 24F, called me dismissive when I, 25M, refused to let her decide my meal portion size. In my relationship, I tend to be the main one who cooks. My girlfriend helps out at times, but I enjoy it, so we're both fine with me doing it. I was cooking last night and I was about to put the food into the oven, and my girlfriend mentioned that I had made too much. I mentioned that I hadn't eaten all day due to being busy, so I've made more than usual since I'm really hungry. She said I have made too much and should remove some of it. I refused and told her no one was making her eat any more than usual and that the extra food is for me. She again tried to get me to remove some of the portion size. I told her she doesn't get to control how much food I'm eating. She said I should listen to her and remove some of it. She said I was being dismissive of her and being unreasonable since I was wasting food. For context, I'm not overweight. I'm in fairly good shape, so it's not like she is concerned about my weight. I told her it's weird she's trying to control how much I eat, but she just repeated that I was being too dismissive of her. How would you handle this? Doctor, my girlfriend called me dismissive when I refused to let her dictate my meal portion size. She said I should be listening to her. How would you handle this? This is really weird. Has she done this or anything like this before? That's pretty insane and a misrepresentation of what it means to be dismissive. She mentioned you made a lot and you explained you made extra for yourself because you were hungry. Conversation should have ended there. You're right. She doesn't get to decide how much you eat. If you're hungry and going to eat all the food, that's not wasteful. You're not being dismissive. You're calling out her controlling behavior. She's trying to gaslight you to make you believe you're the problem here, when really it's her. You're being dismissive. Quote, response. Yes, I am. I have the right to be when you try to portion gate me and tell me how hungry I am and how much food I should be making or eating. If I tried doing this to you and telling you to eat less, you'd call me controlling. If there is extra food, I can have leftovers. It's not going to go to waste. Your argument seems to be, because I said so, and that's not a good enough reason for me to change my direction. When you cook, you can decide how much to make. And I'm not going to try to tell you how much you can or cannot eat at any time. You're absolutely being dismissive of her. Because she's being unreasonable. You should completely dismiss anyone that food polices you. Wow, this is weird. Not only attempting to control you but gaslighting when challenged and blaming you? Is she as controlling in other areas of your life as well, or is it just portion sizes that get her going? I'd be very careful moving forward. Watch out for more of this, and if it occurs, shut it right down. If she has a problem with this, then sadly, you've got to let her go. You can't have this around you. First, it's the portion sizes. Her behavior is rude and condescending, and that wouldn't change even if you were overweight. You can eat whatever you want and how much you want. They're called leftovers for a reason. If anything, she's being dismissive and slightly belligerent. You're not being dismissive, you just don't agree with her. It's not her place to monitor your food intake. Explain that you're an adult and can make decisions for you. If she doesn't like it, then she should talk away and not watch you eat. You should dismiss her out the door for trying to dictate how much food you should be eating. I say this as someone who's battled an eating disorder for over 20 years. No matter how triggering food portions might be, I would never ever take my triggers out on someone else. She's being controlling. It's not okay. Do not accept this. This is weird for sure. How long have you been together? Is this normal behavior? I honestly wouldn't be able to let this go, cause you definitely weren't dismissive and she was being very controlling. Seems like it was more about her being listening to than actually portion control. Is she feeling unheard in life? Is she just a controlling person? Either way, it's on her to communicate, not gaslight you about it. Does she have any issues with food herself? For some people with disordered eating issues, a component of that is an obsession with other people's food as well. I note you mention her not having to eat more just because you were if you normally eat similar portions. It's possible that she panicked about you eating more because in her mind it meant she had to eat more. Or it could have felt unfair that you got to eat more. Not logical. But disordered eating isn't logical. I ask this because on the surface this makes no sense. But in the context of eating disorders it makes perfect sense. It could also be that she is simply controlling, of course. Does she have a habit of trying to micromanage your choices? This is very weird and controlling. It's like she dug in her heels to make sure she was right when you offered up a perfectly logical explanation instead of just admitting she was wrong. Has she done stuff like this before? 'Cause this is a red flag. UPDATEME. Lol, this sounds like a comedy on two people overusing therapy speech. Does she want you to be hungry? Does she not understand that 9/10 times you can eat leftovers? You address this by saying, yes, I am dismissing your input. I am hungry. And I'm not going to get less hungry just because you've taken it upon yourself to control my portion size. You are being weird. Stop it and let me eat. That's not what being dismissive is. She uses therapy language totally wrong. As a way to gaslight you. She is being controlling and mad that you don't let her control you. Very toxic. Do you two not do leftovers? Like we make enough to last us several meals. With no exact portion size. I like to make meals with like 2 or 3 extra servings. My husband likes to make meals with 8+ extra servings. I feel like he makes too much. But that is 'cause I get burned out very easy eating the same stuff over and over. I never tell him to make less, and I've gotten better with freezing half the leftovers and putting the rest in the fridge. All that to say, she shouldn't control your portion size. If she is worried you won't eat it all, do you just throw it away or save it for later? Can't you just tell her that if you don't eat it all, you will save it and have it as a snack later? Are you guys tight financially where food waste is a costly issue? If so, maybe calming her fears, letting her know there are alternatives to not waste the food in the event that you don't happen to eat it all might help. But she is totally the one wrong here. She shouldn't dictate how hungry you are or how much you want to eat. She sounds exhausting. It would be interesting to know how long you folks have been together. While her attitude may be alarming, it's not new. You probably weren't paying attention in other instances. If you've been together for more than a year, that is. Regardless, I feel like she's a person that always has to assert her superiority. I'm not going to put any titles on that. I haven't heard enough to conclude. But she always feels she is right and you have to listen to her. She said I should be listening to her. I'd ask her why.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Ericast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.